Hello guys, welcome to my video tutorial. So today's video I'm gonna show you the 3 basic derivative rules. So first, the power rule, second, the constant multiple rule, and last, the sum and difference rule. So first, power rule, which has a function of f of x equals to x raised to n, which x represented by a variable and n is an any positive or negative integer. F of x equals to x raised to n. How to differentiate this function? So, f of x or f prime of x is equal to n, which bring down the n to the front of x, multiplied by x itself raised to n minus 1, which n, you're gonna subtract n by 1, by negative 1. So, second rule is constant multiple rule. The same, but there is a constant in the front of x raised to n. Just a simple power rule, but has a constant in the front of it. So, where k is a constant, any constant. So, f of x equals to k times to x raised to n. How to differentiate this function? So, f prime of x is equal to k. Gonna let down k in the front of x. So, just follow the power rule, which is you're gonna multiply n by x raised to n minus 1, which is this, and you're gonna copy k. So the last but not the least is the sum and difference rule, which is has a function of f of x equals to g of x plus minus h of x. So g of x represented by any function which has a variable of x and also h of x. So I have here different letters to recognize it. So it's just a similar of variable x. So we're gonna proceed to for example of the power rule first. So power rule, f of x is equal to x raised to n. And f of prime of x is equals to n multiplied by x raised to n minus 1. So we have here two example. First, f of x is equal to x raised to cube. So how to differentiate this? So we're gonna follow this rule. So we're gonna put first f of prime of x is equal to, bring down 3, which represented by n, and copy x and copy the n subtracted by 1. So the third solution is you're gonna subtract 3 by 1. So you're gonna have 3x squared. So that's the derivative of f of x is equal to x raised to cube. So, second example, f of x is equal to x raised to negative 2. F of prime of x is equal to, bring down negative 2, copy the x, copy the n, subtracted by 1. So, algebra, negative 2x, negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 3. So we have final answer, which is negative 2. We're gonna bring down x, which has an exponent of negative. So I'm gonna put it in denominator. It will gonna be a positive 3 exponent. So negative 2 over x cubed is the derivative of the function of x raised to negative 2. So, we're gonna move on to constant multiple rule, which is f of x is equals to k multiplied by x raised to n. The derivative of this is f prime of x is equal to k times n times x raised to n minus 1. So, just a simple power rule, but has a k in the front of x and n. So we have here two examples also. First, f of x is equals to 5x squared. F prime of x is equal to, we're gonna let the constant in front of x multiplied by n, which is the n is 2 multiplied by the variable x raised to 2 minus 1. So, just a simple example of this. 5 multiplied by 2, 10. X, 2 minus 1, just 1. So, we're gonna let that. So, we're gonna put 1 na lang. So, the derivative of f of x is equal to 5x squared is 10x. So, second example. F of x is equals to 1 over 6 multiplied by x cubed. So, f of prime first. We're gonna let 1 over 6 in front of x cubed and bring down the n, which is 3 multiplied by x raised to 3 minus 1. F of prime of x is equals to 3 multiplied by 1 over 6 is 1/2. Multiplied by x, 3 minus 1 is 2. So, that's the answer of, or that's the derivative of the function f of x is equals to 5x squared. Or, rather than 1 over 6 raised, 1 over 6 is, or 1 over 6 multiplied by x cubed. Sorry. So, the last but not the least, the sum and the difference rule. Sum and difference rule states that the f of x is equals to g of x plus minus h of x. The derivative of this function is f prime of x is equals to g prime of x plus negative, I'm gonna put prime for that, h prime of x. So, if you can recall the distributive property, so you just let the differentiate sign distribute that to in every term, so we can come up to this. Can come up with this function. So just gonna distribute the differentiate rule or the differentiate sign. So we have here f of x is equals to 4x cubed plus 7x raised to 5th. So f of prime of x. So distribute the d over dx, which is the differentiate sign. So 4x cubed, what's the derivative of 4x cubed? 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by x, 3 minus 1 plus, so distributive property, 7 multiplied by 5 multiplied by x, 5 minus 1. So simplify further. 4 times 3, 12. 3 minus 1 to the exponent, 2. Plus 7 times 5, 35. X raised to 5 minus 1, which is 4. So that's the derivative of the function of f of x, 4x cubed is equals to 4x cubed plus 7x raised to 5th. So we're gonna check that first. So correct, guys. Let's move on to the last but not the least example. So f of prime of x is equal to pi. A pi is just a constant, so we can let that pi x raised to 1 minus 1 plus 2 multiplied by 4, which is the n. 4 minus 1. So we have here we have a difference. So what's the derivative of 3? If we're gonna differentiate, the constant is equals to 0. So we're gonna put a 0 for that. F of prime of x, simplify. So we have here x raised to 1 minus 1, which the exponent is 0, 1 minus 1. Something raised to 0 is just a 1. So we have here a 1 plus 2 times 4, 8. X raised to 4 minus 1, which is 3. And we don't have to copy the 0. So we have here the derivative of the function of f of x is equals to pi x plus 2x raised to 4 minus 3. So thank you guys. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. So thank you.